Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Championship Series Europe Premier League. As we now move into our next round, it's the winners match. The winner will advance on to the round of 16. It's going to be Happy versus BlinG.
I think a lot of people expected one half of this winners match to be there in Happy. But the other player, and there's been a lot of conversations on Twitter and on TeamLiquid.net, of course, about BlinG being in this, beating out Stardust in the first game of the evening. 2-1, and he has found himself here. And this is not the winners bracket match that we expected. If you want to join in the conversations, do make sure to go on Twitter and just kind of type out your thoughts, really, and include a hashtag WCS so everyone else can see it. But here we are in the winners match. What do you think? Who do you think is going to edge out? How do you think this could potentially go?
After seeing the way in which BlinG played out that PvP, this could go anyway. This really could.
Yeah, I think if you look at this series, you have Happy again as the guy that's very solid, and as of recently, has been opening up. I've watched a couple of his replays. He seems to really, once again, prefer one Barracks Command Center over Reaper Expand because of how good pros players have been at stopping the Reaper getting the information. So I think we're going to see most likely a very focus on macro from Happy and a solid defense against everything. And BlinG is a player who has always been good against Terran. He used to be very good at the Double Forge Colossus style a long time ago. More recently, not as strong as he used to be. But BlinG has this mentality where he will look at Happy and go, I can't really beat this guy straight up. He's so good. And may try a lot of funky things throughout the series, and it will really depend on if those funky things work, I would imagine.
Well, we did see a relatively funky style come out against Stardust in terms of the proxy positionings, etc. Will that translate now into the second series of the day for him? We'll find out. Our first map of all maps is going to be Ultrazine Stronghold, as we have spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner our blue Protoss representing Team Dignitas. It is BlinG, and up to the top left, we have our red Terran representing Team Empire. It is Happy.
BlinG has been on Dignitas for his entire StarCraft 2 career now.
Yes, he has.
He joined a long, long time ago, maybe 2011 early.
In the Gamer Search in 2011.
Yeah, a long, long time ago it was. And throughout his career, he's had a lot of ups and downs. I remember one MLG tournament, he almost got to Championship Sunday, which is the final day where all the big games happened. And I think he lost in a best-of-3 against Oz, 2-1. And that was the decider, would have pushed him into Championship Sunday. That was one of his biggest results. He's also had a couple of round of 16 finishes, but that's kind of just advancing one group stage, so it's not as impressive. But overall, hasn't really hit anything really large. But like a lot of players in the Premier League that aren't the hard hitters that we expect to win, can beat anybody on a good day, like we've already seen through beating Stardust.
Yeah, in PvP of all matches, where Stardust, apart from his PvZ also, but he does really reign supreme in PvP. He's such a good player in that matchup. But BlinG causes the upset. Now can he do it twice in a row? Certainly could happen. Happy here. Well, normally he's always buckled down. Very, very strong. There was a little bit of shakes and bumps during that series against BlinG.
Absolutely.
But I think he could be okay here as he goes Command Center first.
Yeah, we'll see how he's going to approach the entire of the series. I think this one was quite scripted for the first couple of moments on a map this big, Altazim Stronghold. Command Center first. If Happy's a player that always likes to fast expand with the Barracks over Reaper and doesn't really do anything funky usually, on a map this big, he's always going Command Center first. And I'm sure that's going to be in BlinG's mind as well. So BlinG from this can obviously be aggressive against any super early builds, but on a 4-player map, are you really going to be able to nail a successful build and execute it well? Because you don't want to know where he spawns. So we'd imagine, or I would have actually thought BlinG would have gone Nexus first here, actually.
Yeah.
But there is the off chance that the Reaper players use, which could kill the probes early on and could nullify that Nexus first advantage. But he's definitely going to get just a one gas, not going too heavy into his economy.
Even if it wasn't going to be that, though. I thought it could have been even just gateway into Nexus.
Could have been that, yeah.
But he opted for neither, so this is a very, very slow Nexus compared to what we're seeing from Happy, obviously, who now is Command Center first, and double Barracks behind this just to keep himself stable.
Definitely could still see BlinG try to capitalize on some form of tech. We could see a Stargate, for example, come down where he could try going for an Oracle to try to bring the worker count down from Happy. But if Happy goes untouched from this position, he has the better build. But he's throwing down an Engineering Bay really, really early on. So he's actually not emphasizing his lead as much as he could because he's thinking very defensively once again in his mindset. Engineering Bay is down this early to actually get turrets in case of a very fast Oracle. And as we described BlinG going up against Happy, he's probably going to play a funky-ish style throughout the series. Happy knows that, man. He plays against BlinG a lot.
Yeah, and so he's going to keep himself well and truly defended, just deal with anything that would come his way. And now that Probe hasn't really got a whole lot of information, but from just seeing 3 Marines on the high ground, seeing no Reaper being sent out early and he's not being poked at, he can probably infer as to what is going on behind that wall.
Yeah, and Happy, I mean, at least BlinG was able to find his opponent, right? At least he found where he was. But we are going to see the Stargate into Oracle, into 3rd Nexus, and that funky playstyle description is coming true here.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a build that, once found out, is almost instant death. But the key to beating Happy is because he's such a predictable and repetitive player and will do the same thing game in, game out and make sure he doesn't die to aggression, then you can do things like this, but it's going to be very important to keep that SCV away.
Yeah, but it gets there pretty late. I mean, if he'd have scouted down to the left, then yes, he would have spotted this super quick, but...
Yeah, but isn't Oracle alone going to stop an SCV from spotting that, though? I don't think so. But at least the good thing is this Oracle shouldn't do anything, ideally, because there's turrets in each mineral line already, so...
Yeah, Happy's keeping himself well and truly defended as he's up to 30 workers against 32 in favor of BlinG. But if he does not find this 3rd base sometime soon, this is going to escalate quickly.
I was about to say BlinG should throw down the Twilight Council soon. He needs to rush up to like Blink or Zealot Charge or something.
Yeah,
because there's no way he's getting to Colossus, and there's no way he can just use slow Archons. He needs a lot of mobility in this style. And already the turrets push this back.
And he's going to try and worm his way around towards that mineral line, but he sees another turret and has to get right on out there. At least BlinG is keeping good eyes on his initial Oracle as it tries to find a little bit of room to do something, but won't for now.
What do you think he goes, Blink or Zealot Charge? I think Blink.
I think Blink in these positions. I think Zealot Charge is way too difficult to start bouncing around between these 3 bases.
He's going to go Zealot Charge, though.
Wow, okay. That was not exactly the easiest thing to predict because...
Yeah, like I said, it's either one of them. It's hard to call which one exactly it is.
So Zealot Charge is basically him saying he's going to have his units spread out in all of the locations and he's going to greet those units as they drop, basically. But that's difficult. That's fraught with danger because this SCV is getting close to seeing that base.
It's going to see it. There's no way it's not going to see it. BlinG probably doesn't even think there's an SCV out there right now. And he's going to spot this. And immediately is Happy. You're like, You Protoss! That's what Happy and Terran players say. And even Zerg players, when they say this, they say, ah! I mean, you do it in any game. And all of a sudden now, he has to start being aggressive. But he cannot just rush out with naked Marines. The good thing for his build here is that he did go double engineering bay. He's going to have 1-1 with this movement out, which is actually better than the just armor upgrade. But BlinG has added on 7 gateways now.
Jeez.
He's been off 1 gateway until now.
That's greedy.
That's such a greedy build from him. But now going up to 8 gateways and Zealot Charge completing, one can only imagine now that he would have enough to defend against what Happy's going for. But on the flip side, Happy can't be overly aggressive anyway because of his fast 3rd that he decided to take earlier on. It's not like he has 5 barracks already done and rushing out units. So BlinG actually will most likely just get away with this.
Yeah, it seems so. The one thing that could come back to kind of bite him if he doesn't have positioned units already is the fact that because he didn't have a robo in this build earlier on, he doesn't have observers on the perimeter of his bases, right? So he needs to be able to keep an eye on drops somehow, which are now moving out into the field. I guess these pylons are going to try and spot for him in the middle. And actually, those double drops are on the way to actually hit that pylon.
Yeah, but he does also have Templar, remember, or should be warping them in now as his Templar Archive's just finished and spreading them around. His back natural, by the way, is undefended. But luckily for BlinG, this pylon out in the open will spot it, and he's sent the probe around to continue harassment and scouting and so on, so on, so on, so on.
That's very, very fortunate that he's able to spot that. Can just reposition or just warp in a load of units as well. He's going to add on a cannon at the back here. But these Stalkers will instantly spot this and verify that it's about to happen. And they push it away.
Overcharge, Stalkers, easy peasy.
Oh, BlinG. Playing so well.
Double Forge as well. This is a very good opening from BlinG. Very greedy. It's gone untouched, unscathed. He's in perfect shape. But Happy is not that far behind either, if you think about it. He did have 3 command centers per early. He's got a decent army supply, decent workers supply. Not the same as BlinG, who wins in the early part of this. And Robo's now coming in. I would not be surprised to see a good switch over to double Colossus production with this kind of greed.
Oh, Happy. If he'd have just gone further up, this is a really, really common pylon placement on this map, just across these rocks to warp in some Zealots. But he didn't go so far as to spot that. So that's a little bit of a shame there for Happy. He may end up getting stung for that later on.
All right, well, from this point on, Happy is adding on the Ghost Academy quite early on, or I did add it on, and is adding Ghost to his composition with Hellbats too. He's got almost a very, very good army composition against what currently BlinG has. But with the robotics switch, the double of them, if BlinG gets up to Colossus fast enough, then he's in perfect shape with his upgrades that he has. But if Happy moves out soon, which I think he would, once he starts to add a couple of ghosts, and he doesn't want to give his opponent too much time to make that switch possible, Warp Prism will help this switch. Before the robotics ray is ready, he can actually drop at the natural, maybe, of Happy at the back, bring him back, slow him down. But definitely, Happy's very strong, because I don't think there was Storm researched.
No, I don't think there was.
So Happy's very strong right now. If he obviously doesn't know it, but he is.
Yeah, I think he might be playing extra cautious because he was just expecting Storm to be out at this time. It's what most Terrans would expect to be the case.
He scans and sees no high Templar, but of course they could be hidden. And he hasn't scanned to see the robotics bay switch yet, but it doesn't matter because he hasn't moved yet. The Warp Prism can't work. There's turrets. There's 3.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to really break in there. He has to almost fly as much as he possibly can on the left-hand side past that first one, and then try and go somewhere else with that.
Can this Warp Prism bring Happy back? Because Happy's moving out with a very, very strong army. He's about to have 2-2. BlinG currently is not even at 2-2 himself. He sees the units in the middle. The Warp Prism must go in at this point, but will it get anything done?
He realizes the army positioning. He starts chrono boosting furiously into those 2 upgrades. He does spot these missile turrets on the perimeter, and he's going to go for the 3rd.
Yeah, anything he can do to delay just a little bit more. If the Colossus are out, this is such a different game.
It really is. At the same time, though, EMPs are going to have to hit really strongly against the army because it is quite strong. There's a lot of Zealots in there. And now the Zealots swapping on the high ground as well. This is a good move by BlinG, but the Zealots are already being cleaned up in the 3rd.
Does Happy go back? Actually, BlinG's going to look to engage. BlinG's going to engage while his opponent's not looking. But he is looking.
Well, he got a few of the EMPs on those sentries that does deny a lot of the force fields from sealing this in. And with that, the bio is just going to actually tear through the Zealots and then start tearing through the rest of this army.
That fight was not good. Right before your tech switch. Did you need to take that fight? That was a great win for Happy. And I really felt that BlinG was like, all right, I'm going to drop you and then I'm going to attack your army. You're not going to be ready for EMPs and I can walk over you. But he clicked the army right at the perfect time, landed the right EMPs, and BlinG just got really beaten up there. But he does have his double Colossus on the way, but the impact they have in this game is no longer important. It's just not the same. This
army is completely trapped, though, and so he will lose all of this. That's quite an expensive investment there from Happy, but he did so much damage before, so it's... Happy behind this, he just macros up and keeps going. And he knows that the Colossi are there, so he just goes into Viking production.
Yeah, 4th base is taken down, though, but definitely a missed opportunity there for the Brit. But this is slowing down the 4th base for Happy, and they are kind of equal in supply. But once again, they are equal in upgrades, equal in tech. But we do see BlinG with more Colossus right now. There is an option where he could take a fight now before the Vikings are too high. There's only one of them. Only one Viking. There's 4 Colossus with a 5th and 6th on the way.
He certainly needs a lot of gateway units to reinforce, though.
There's quite a few Stalkers here. There could be an opportunity for this fight to be won.
This isn't that big a bio army. Look how small it is. All right, if BlinG goes, then this could be a massacre. He's got to be careful, though.
Well, Happy's looking. He doesn't realize the army's there.
Zealots.
He's moving Marines south, but he doesn't see it until very last minute.
And all of those Zealots now just charging on forwards. A lot of them do get EMP'd, so that's going to shred up all of their shields. Meanwhile, the Vikings going to go to town. How well can BlinG focus these down? Pretty well. There's nothing to contend with the Colossi. All the SCVs come off the line, but at the same time now, there's not that many gateway units. He has to be so careful about his control with those Colossi. And they're going to stay alive. BlinG is hitting this perfectly.
The Colossus are alive.
Yeah.
The Colossus stand strong. They are the London Tower. They are the Big Ben.
They've done well. They're going to stand for a long time.
I don't know any other tall buildings in England.
There's that one that looks like an egg. Do you remember that one?
It's the egg.
It's the egg. The egg of Colossus.
It's an increased size Millennium Stadium. It is Wembley.
Good job, Colossi. You've done well.
Yeah, this is good, but there are some cloak ghosts in there, which is causing a bit of havoc.
And he has 2 observers, but where are they? There's 1 on the way, 2 on the way even, I should say. But at this point, there's 2 Colossi just doing their business. They're doing their business.
Yeah, and Happy's been really hurt here. Obviously losing his third base, losing his army. And BlinG looks like he's could be picking up map number 1 here with his greedy little play. He's living up to his ID.
He's done well. He really has. And now all he has to do is he could just walk down there, kill off that 4th base if he wanted to. And then Happy has really nothing left. This is crazy.
No, he does not. He is down in supply and has been brutalized by an Englishman.
Well,
don't get to say that very often in StarCraft, so give me my moment.
We're cherishing it. It doesn't happen so often. Sorry to Muslim. But anyway, there we go. There's that planetary fortress falling. And now, with the only this 3rd base left up and running, that's it. It's GG.
Wow. 2-1 versus Stardust and now leading against Happy. Is BlinG going to make his first appearance in the round of 16 in the Premier League? He's only been in Premier League once before this and dropped out quite fast. I remember speaking to him throughout his games. I can't remember who he played, but he was incredibly nervous and played kind of sloppy last time he was in Premier League. And he was messaging me almost after every map saying, why? My hands won't work. But today he's doing really well.
Seems so. Seems so. He's 1 game away from advancing on to the round of 16. And as you said before, did the Muslim in WCS America
get to round 16?
Yeah. No.
I'm pretty sure he didn't. I can double check for you, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think he did, no.
Anyway, come on, England, I guess. As well.
Oh no, he did. He did once. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
He did once.
Okay.
He did once.
So he'd be the 2nd person.
Yeah.
Good job, the Muslim. Good job.
First person in Europe.
Okay.
Where we always commentate. So.
Where we are.
So going into the next map on Frost here, I have to feel that Happy feel abused a little bit there.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I think it was smartly played out though. It's really good. It's really nice to see when 2 players who know each other's style really well can interact against each other like that. And I think it was smart play from BlinG to do that. But Happy's gonna have his eyes out a lot more into what BlinG is trying to do and trying to accomplish to get an upper hand.
Yeah, it's much easier to get away with that on a map like Ultrazeem Stronghold, whereas Frost, still, there's opportunities to get away with other things. Maybe we see BlinG mix it up and go straight to aggression here or something like that, or, he's going to try and play it out economically. Whatever he wants to do, he's going to have to try and outsmart Happy once again.
If he tries to do anything with his strategy early on to try to deal damage, I think that's where his downfall would be. On a map like Frost here, I don't expect Happy to take too much damage to anything early, whether it be DTs, a gateway attack, maybe a gateway attack. No DT damage, no Oracle damage, maybe a gateway attack planned in there, because Happy sometimes can spread himself so thin by defending against multiple different things where he could leave himself open at the front. That may be a weakness of his here. But BlinG's asking for a quick second, which I would only imagine is either his mum has called him and is saying, "Good job, son, keep going." It's like, "Mom, not now, I'm playing." Or he's actually thinking about what strategy to use.
Yeah. He says, "Ready, thank you." So we're going to get into game number 2. BlinG currently 1 game away from the round of 16, whilst Happy needs to bring it back 1-1. But at the same time, even if he does lose this series, he does still have 1 opportunity against either Stardust or Bly, who are looking to fight one another for elimination and advancing. So, important stuff here. This is where it really gets tense in these groups.
I think that's always been one of the biggest weaknesses of Happy, is what we're seeing so far unfold in this series, is predictability and people looking to exploit it. And I have a feeling that this won't be the first time or first series that we see this today, if we see more from Happy.
All right, well, spawning up to the top right, we have our Red Terran, currently 1 game down. It is Empire Happy. And then we have, to the bottom left-hand corner, representing Dignitas, it is BlinG.
Definitely expecting a very good performance from Happy here. This map is not as easy to pull off Blink play on compared to some of the other maps. Still could be used, but it's not as easy to get a victory with it, let's just say that. You can use it, but you can fall back and do other things. And Happy seems to be very solid all around. Would have seen a lot of Pulse play at Intellectual Masters recently. And overall, Blink play starting to wear out. We see a lot of changes with Terran recently, which is always a good thing when you think about the balance of the game. And I know a lot of people do get frustrated with it, but eventually things do start to switch up by themselves.
Yeah.
Like Blink play has not really been touched yet. Obviously, there's no patch, but it has become less and less common compared to what it was a month ago, where it seemed unbeatable. And one of the biggest changes is that we see factory play with our mines and then to tanks. It's very common right now.
Yeah, and it's working wonders. We already saw it work for Bunny in Group A against Naniwa, and then we saw people later on also trying it out with varied degrees of success. But in the end, ultimately, it's fizzling out. And a lot of Protoss are saying, well, if that patch is coming along where I'm not going to have an easier time, I shouldn't keep really using this. I should be focusing down on things that are going to have a viable long-term plan.
But when you have a WCS game on the current patch, I think that would be on BlinG's mind. But definitely for others who may have matches after the patch, which is a case, as the new patch was posted to come out on Friday tomorrow. So we have games on Saturday and Tuesday, Thursday next week on a new patch. So definitely anticipation coming out from those players. But Command Center first from Happy. Command Center first, bro. He ain't afraid.
Yeah, and he's in the best spots to do it as well. All that cross positions. Doing all right.
Sorry. Sorry.
Wait.
I just, I pulled the desk out.
Dude, it keeps moving. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm really scared. So anyway, yeah, double barracks gets added on behind this as well for Happy. So normal.
Yeah, and I think he used double gases before a third barracks last time to tech up a little bit faster. He obviously got the engineering bay quite early. He may do that here again, because this is definitely a more aggressive map than the last one. So if he did it on Altazim, you'd imagine he'd do it on here unless he's willing to take that risk.
Yeah, certainly could do. It would be nice to see, actually. I do like the upgraded heavy style here, as the double gases will go down. When is our engineering bay going to come in? That's the big question.
Well, BlinG's working on 2 gases now. Last game from this point, as he got to 150 gas, he added on the Stargate. What is it going to be this time? Stargate again, by the looks of it. Moves across just as he has 150 gas. Going to try it again.
All right.
It got 5 kills last time, so it actually paid for itself. But didn't... I mean, it helped the cause the way that BlinG's build worked out, but it didn't cause critical damage. I think it's 5 kills including the scout and SCV, so it was like 4 kills in base, which is good actually, considering 2 turrets were made.
Exactly. I mean, there was defense in place. There was defense committed to that didn't really have too much long-term plan there from Happy, aside from the extra turrets they added later on for the denial of the warp prism. And look at this, the sneaky Brit.
He's doing it again!
All right, I'm going to have to say it. He's a cheeky one, guys. And it's actually quite relevant considering his Brit.
He is very cheeky indeed. And, well, I imagine if his I've got to go back to it. I'm sorry, guys. Imagine if his mother texts him. It's like, and he's there thinking what to do, and his mother says, "Good job, keep doing the same." He's like, "Wow, those are wise words, Mom." It just does the same. This time it's going to get spotted. This is not the same build we're seeing from Happy, by the way. So it's 2 barracks to factory, which means faster medivacs in this game, then the 3rd barracks.
Wait,
he's going to spot this early, I think.
Is he, though? Is he?
Well, because then again, yeah.
Right actually, now, he's rallied to the main.
That's bad of me. He may not see this early.
And also the thing is that he never got that engineering bay, so this could leave him vulnerable.
Yeah. I mean, overall, his build is just sped up than it is from the last game, but he may take damage to this Oracle, and he may not see this 3rd.
He's not going to see it.
But he may just automatically throw down this 4th and 5th barracks anyway. Oracle comes in.
Gets some zapping going, and gets 3 kills already.
Yeah, 4 kills already. It's pretty good.
All right, so this is a nice attack
5
here.
5 kills.
Even gets one right next to the bunker.
This is really, really good. Considering what BlinG's doing as well on top.
Yeah, 42 workers against 32 right now. Sorry, 40 against 32.
Happy missed the tech lab on his barracks. Oh, no, he was just a little bit... So it wasn't too late, sorry, excuse me. Don't worry too much about that. But he is going to push this back now. But again, this is unscouted Happy. The only SCV scout, the only scout overall in this game was that SCV one, which saw nothing. Now we have the same again, charge, armor, and then we'll see an influx of gateways in the next couple of seconds. He'll need to climb up to like 8 again.
You know, he could actually flip this entirely around, could BlinG. He could actually go for a huge gateway attack. Because there's not really that amount of upgrades out for Happy because of the timing on his engineering bay compared to last time.
Well, what he could do, I don't think he'd just go straight out for an attack, but what he could do is if Happy comes across the map, loses a lot of units, then the counterattack with 8 gateways is highly possible. We've seen that been used quite a lot against Terran players recently if they do not know what's there. But the problem is, Happy has to attack no matter what. But he's gone 3 barracks, not 5, which means his unit production is very limited. And he's got a 3rd command center incoming. He's playing like he's playing against a normal Protoss game, but BlinG is exploiting him again. It's that simple. BlinG's economy is much better. He's got better production now, has not been punished, and there's no way for Happy to punish him. He can't even start to think about punishing something he doesn't even know about.
Yeah, and not only that, but in 5 seconds' time, BlinG's going to have Revelation. He can just keep an eye on this arm. Uh-oh, it disappeared. Where did it go? Where did it go, Oracle? He's like, oh, okay, well, they must have picked up. And he's going to start looking around for it.
We'll see if he sets units to defend.
Yeah, because there's no way the army could have just disappeared like that.
Yeah, he's looking in the middle, though. He thinks it could be just walking. So this could do a lot. The Mothership Core's actually going to the 3rd to defend. Luckily for him, the drop did not happen on the natural, which he just threw a cannon down for anyway. And the Mothership Core in good position here would be enough to push this back.
Yep.
Just needs to photon overcharge fast enough.
Trying to get a few probes, but now this is the first time Happy's really seen this expansion, so...
Yeah, and he's like, God damn it, not again.
Yeah, and he will get pushed away, and he sees charge as well. Did he see the Archon? Well, I mean, he saw charge, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he knows kind of what he's playing up against. BlinG comes back with the Oracle here, and probably the spell.
Tag it.
Yeah,
there we go.
So he knows where the units are going to go. There's 2 more drops that are loaded up. Happy's like gone in aggro modes. He needs to get some damage done to stop his opponent's economy. Because right now, Happy's economy is good. He's got 3 command centers. He's got double upgrades on the way. But if he can slow down BlinG's economy and keep him away from a 2nd Forge, keep him away from taking up to Colossus, Happy's definitely could be in good shape. But can he get the damage done? With these double drops, maybe.
Maybe. The first one's already been keeping an eye on this right-hand side, and it's actually going to get pinned down and pushed away. Meanwhile, though, the one at the natural, there's already 1 cannon there to try and buy a little bit of time. It's focusing down that first medevac. Doesn't get it in the end, though. Just barely leaves that alive. And
this is a good drop, and also a good movement on the 3rd, too, potentially.
He doesn't want to bring everything back. He is actually bringing everything back. That could spell doom. All right, well, this is really good play here by Happy. Just drawing him so thin.
Yep. He's now splits up, but it's maybe a little bit too late there, as we did see quite a few probes go down. The economy now still a little bit in favor of BlinG, as he reestablishes himself. But Happy's not too bad. He's in pretty decent shape. This is a good couple of drops.
This poor Oracle only barely didn't see these 2 medevacs up to the north heading out.
BlinG could be going for an attack, maybe. But it's going to be difficult to pull off, I would imagine, because he hasn't added a 2nd Forge or Robo in this game. It's very greedy in that regard. He's adding army, and he's got pylons on the right-hand side.
And no Storm, no transition into Robo or anything.
But the problem is he's got to set up his defense before he moves out. There's no way you can move out. You just get dropped to death.
2 photon cannons are going to start doing a bit of damage to that medevac, and it's very, very low. But at the same time, the 3rd base is being attacked. This is hard for him to deal with because he's always got his army in 1 location, never really spread out to greet these drops.
And behind this, Ghost production has begun and 2-1 upgrades are about to complete. Happy is dealing... he's playing very, very good in this game. Definitely a step up from previous, and he's been able to really get these drops working for him.
Oh, tries to push that away, gets a few kills. And now that Archon did get on top of one of these medevacs, so he should be able to clean up quite a bit of this without it really doing too much. Oh, actually, it cleans up everything, so that's nice by BlinG.
And now the income's the same. Now they've equalized on 3 bases. Even though right now, after losing quite a few units there, we do see Happy with an army disadvantage, but he has quality over quantity right now.
I think
he has a lot of ghosts.
I think he might go. He's got a Robo and he's getting an Observer out, but it looks like he's moving into an aggressive position. He's always warping in aggressive Zealots on this right-hand side.
Yeah, Happy can't be out in the open like this. Whoop. He's got to be very careful.
Now he's Revelation.
Yeah, he needs to go back. I don't know why he's out in the open like this.
These Zealots could actually catch this army. But
he saves his Ghost there just in case they get sniped. Great pickup because he needs the EMPs here on the Archons. And this is a very weak army that BlinG has, but great split. Zealots on the right and Zealots on the left there. That's nice. This is a good.
Yeah, forcing a lift up, and this is giving BlinG a slight income advantage whilst all of this is going on, but he's losing a few of the Zealots on the right-hand side, and he can't really do any damage to the command center, so it's just Zealots and Zealot power alone.
And the army supply now equal, so BlinG did hit a small window there where his army was bigger by a little bit and did kind of capitalize on that. But with 2 robotic space coming in, that's not exactly ideal. I think that's a bit of a mishap. He's gone up to double robotics facilities and robo bays. A bit of a mistake there.
He wants warp prism speed as well, man.
Yeah, wants all the upgrades.
I'm trying to convince you, and you're not buying it, I guess. Anyway, so he's got +3 weapons on the way. He's got +2 armor on the way.
Second starport or one? Oh, okay, there it
Second,
starts.
yeah.
Yep, second just started. So obviously needs to get ready for the Colossus switch, which caught him a little off guard last time. But he did see the timing of the robotics facility earlier on the natural, so can kind of anticipate that a little bit.
This 4th base, if it gets established and he holds on to it nice and strong, then he could be okay. He lost to the pylon, though, over on this right-hand side with his harassment pylon. But his army is gaining a bit of traction. The only problem is the upgrades are going to go pretty heavily in favor of Happy because he's always been on double engineering bay, whereas it's only been 1 forge for Mr. BlinG.
Yeah, BlinG's a little bit undersaturated on his 3rd base, and as you said, lack of forge as well. He's only 11 out of potentially 16 there. Actually, quite a boost into the Nexus as I say that. But it's overall pretty decent. I still favor Happy's army for the time being, but now with the Viking count starting to increase, it's going to make him a lot stronger. Definitely Happy if they fight now. If we make them fight, then I think Happy wins. No Storm, just Archon Zealot charge. If the Colossus get into play soon, then they're powerful, but with the Vikings rising, then of course Happy topples on that too.
Killing off another pylon offer on this right-hand side, eventually to allow these drops freedom to drop, but he knows about the army positioning, he knows about the movement, so he can position himself well, but that being said, not so well over at this 4th that is being attacked. He's going for the Nexus. That was an ambitious move, I think, on both fronts.
Surprised at no Storm.
Yeah, it really just feels as if he doesn't like Storm. He didn't get it last game. He's not getting it this game.
No.
Storm can be hard to use sometimes.
But it can also be deadly.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely need to master the Storm use. Because once the Viking count is large enough, which it's starting to climb up to, and the Colossus die really fast, unless he somehow gets enough Stalkers to stop the Vikings, and there's no way you're winning a fight without Storm.
Nice snipe out there. Really well done by Happy. And meanwhile, there is a little bit of Zealot harassment on this right-hand side, but for the cost of a Nexus, it doesn't matter if he takes a little bit of damage from this bunker at all.
That was a good pick-off there. Good pick-off. Establishes 4th place. Now we're really seeing the true power of Happy once he was able to equalize the game. He's looking much better. We couldn't really judge him on the previous game because of how that BlinG had that advantage. But now things are equal. He's in good shape. He sees the army. Great scan, by the way. He's got 6, 7 Vikings. That's not that many Vikings.
He shouldn't be moving out with this army into this position because these Stalkers are all... Look at this chunk of army that's at home.
Okay, BlinG just took the worst fight ever.
What's going on, Sean?
He just walked into a bunch of EMPs and loses everything. That was a terrible fight.
Look how much army he has back at home, though. Look at this.
That's just a bad fight. I don't know what happened there. I think when you play against Happy and you're dropped all the time, and he's playing so fast, I think anyone can relate to it to a certain extent. If you play against a better player, or you feel that he's playing better than you in this game, you're like, all right, let's go. And then that was just a bad fight. That was actually really bad. You didn't need to fight there. Didn't have all his army with him. And it just took a massive drop. And I know that when the game's over, the first thing any pro gamer does is they look at the graphs. Because telling the graphs actually pinpoints where you lost.
Yeah.
Because you can relate, or you can kind of look at the graph and say, all right, that was that fight. That sucked. And you already had that feeling inside you. Then you see the numbers to back it up. Then you know. And that was the fight that potentially lost BlinG the game.
That was bad. That was not so great at all. And now BlinG is going to lose Nexus is because of this. He's going to lose that one. And now Happy is just going to hit him on multiple fronts. BlinG's doing well to catch back up in terms of his army lost. He actually has a lot of Archons in this, but how many Ghosts is there? There's 4 out, 5 more on the way.
Yeah, only 4, but 5 more on the way is the most important part. And these drops have just been crazy. And
very strong.
If this game gets equalized as it was seen it to be here,
look at this move.
I know it's so beautiful. It's just all over the place. If this game gets equalized, it's actually a bit of a downer for BlinG, I would say, rather than Happy at a 1-1 situation. Not just because Happy would win the second game in the best of 3, but in the manner of how they both won. Oh wow.
Well, this is happening. And meanwhile, elsewhere, he's killing off pylons. That Nexus snipe up to the north, though, was fantastic.
BlinG's had enough. He's had enough now.
Yeah, he's going.
He's lost his temper. He's lost his rag.
He's got to deal with 12 Vikings, unless they clump up against the Archons.
Look at all the bunkers. Happy's like, come on, bro!
Bunkers! He's like, oh, I'm just going to go the other way. He's like, aw.
Yeah, Happy was expecting this movement out eventually. He's destroyed his opponent's bases slowly. Hallucinate Colossus, but scan there, so it doesn't matter. GG, well played. Doesn't even fight. He realizes he was beaten up badly there. And that's one apiece.
He not only destroyed his bases, but he destroyed his morale, basically, there at the end.
I definitely think so, yeah. The movement out suggested that. The first one, the second movement out, and the fight without the fight suggested it too.
Yeah.
So I think BlinG has to really go into this next one to try to toughen up his brain. Slap himself a couple of times because that was harsh. That was harsh.
It kind of was. And now, what map are we on? Do we know? Heavy? No, no.
I do not know. But Happy, I think we'll look at game number 1 and be like, Protoss, or I can't believe what you did.
Yeah.
And whatever. And then we'll look at game number 2. It's like, yeah, that's how it was meant to go.
That was a good game.
We'll go into game 3 and be like, all right, let's do this. It's Yeonsu.
Like, it's that comfort zone that Happy finds when he performs moves like those Nexus snipes.
Yeah.
That are just tip-top. Just absolutely world-class. Really, really strong play against, a race that a lot of times are having problems against right now. But Happy, generally, I would say on a good day, on a normal day for Happy, he probably doesn't have as many problems as other people.
Yes, seems so, according to this game at least.
Yeah, really well done.
And now we're going into the third map, which is going to be Yeonsu, which is a 2-player smaller map, much more aggressive. Will we see BlinG now go for that aggression point on this map? What does Happy do? He's not going command center first on this map, that's for sure.
No, definitely not. Well, BlinG could try and go economy focused again, but it's going to be even harder than it was on Frost. So there's almost no way that he can realistically get away with that. All Happy needs to have is one Marine situated around, having a look around and see what's going on. So there has to be a mix-up, I think. He says sec again.
There is obviously, conversing with someone who may not be named. There's no way BlinG's getting away with 3 Nexus on this map.
No.
Not this map, not this small map. No way. Big map, Altazim, sure, get away with it. And you can almost kind of look at the 3 maps in the size order and the success rate of a 3rd Nexus. Game 1, pretty successful. Game 2, Game 3, no way. No way. No. This is not going to happen. That's going to get looked upon. That's going to get spotted. Does he now try the blink play that we've seen so popular recently? Does he try the Naniwar approach and go crazy with blinks? And it could risk his advancement to the round of 16. And whatever we look at strategy-wise, and why it seems to be so focused on BlinG is because it's up to him to choose a strategy to win the game, more so than Happy, who's going to be the one defending what potentially is coming, which is why the focus is mostly on BlinG's decisions here.
With, of course, his little knife jabs on either side.
Yeah, and if it gets to the mid part of the game, and if they're in equal stances, I think, even though BlinG's played well today, you have to favor Happy. You have to look at this game and be like, if they're in an equal point in the game, Happy's most likely going to win because he seems to be the better player.
Yeah, he buckles down, sits at home, he plays his game for the most part and doesn't really mind what you're doing. He'll spot it with aggression, be it the drop play, or he'll spot it with a lone Marine moving out to the side of the map, and then he'll react accordingly from there. So let's jump into game number 3 as we now follow on the path of this guy up to the top right-hand corner, our blue Protoss representing Dignitas. It is BlinG. And then we have the outright favorite, technically, going into this series, representing Team Empire. It is Happy.
Happy. That was my chant.
Do you reckon he does that?
No way.
No way.
No. They are these 2 players outside of StarCraft, personality-wise, are complete opposites.
Yes, they are. You are correct.
Complete opposites.
Yeah. It's funny to think about that. I'm like, what if they reversed roles for a day? And then I was like,
Well, I think BlinG would find that easy.
Yes.
Playing StarCraft all day doesn't seem that difficult and that much different. But Happy doing what BlinG would do on a day that he doesn't play StarCraft.
I can't imagine this in my head.
No, it probably wouldn't end well. It probably wouldn't end well. BlinG is known to be a bit of an animal, bit of a party animal.
I'm imagining Happy waking up the night after and he's like, not doing that again.
He's like, how can I go back to being happy after what I did yesterday?
Oh, God. All right, anyway, so looks like no command center first. Surprise, surprise. Who would have guessed? And look, he's even scouting out for proxies just to make sure his opponent's not being super cheeky. All right.
If you win, BlinG, and if the Queen cared about StarCraft, she'd be proud, son.
I thought you were going to knight him then. I was like, wait a minute. Steady on. It's only around a 16.
So one Barracks command center here from Happy. Sticking away from Reaper builds, just doesn't use them, doesn't like them. Would much rather prefer to use his SCV to scout, which can be a lot more difficult to do.
It's going to get in, though.
Yeah, initially, it can get in, sure, but it's the follow-up SCV scout's the most important. But usually a Protoss player knows the timing that the Terran knows his not timing, and then will mess with that timing, if that makes sense. I think the Stalker pops at like 4:30, I think it is. So the SCV usually waits until that time, waits for the Stalker to move out somewhere, and then goes in to try to scout. And obviously the Protoss player is good enough to know that the Terran player uses that. And Happy, by using one Barracks command center and seeing no Reaper, can imagine that too. We do not have a cancelled Zealot, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is going to be quite handy against the Marine that's moving across the map.
And he's actually hiding the Zealot on the high ground. So this is important, because we've seen Happy even go for weird bunker timings against Nexus.
Yeah, but this Zealot obviously wasn't there to stop the Marine. It was more so to be aggressive.
Do you not think the Zealot was just in case he was to throw an engineering bay down for some crazy reason?
I think he was tracking the SCV, and if it had gone down, then I think he would have been like, whatever. I think it's more so to poke over, because Happy has been known to skip the bunker. You can try to do something with it.
Does this pylon say Stargate to you?
Potentially.
Could see that from BlinG again. It did all right for him last game, actually. Did all right again. He's certainly doing well with them. It's not just the SCV kills that matter.
It's going to be a gateway attack.
Yeah? Oh, is he actually chrono boosting into it? Oh, yes. And it's 4 gates, if he's leaving that probe there.
Every game so far, BlinG has gone for an Oracle.
Yeah.
That would require Happy, along the lines of how this is played out, to have Marines inside the main base. Zealot is controlling the Xel'Naga Tower to make sure that BlinG's probe or army isn't tracked on the right-hand side here, and he's going to try a 4-gate. He's going to try and break the natural here. It's obviously a big risk. A scan goes down.
He's not going to see it.
No, he sees a gateway. Yeah. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
This is what I was going to say. This is perfect positioning for him. Because normally Happy scans directly on your Nexus, right? So this is perfect positioning for BlinG. It's so intelligent.
All right, the Marine's still inside the main base here, moving towards the mineral line, expecting the Oracle. Great hashtag mind games here coming out from BlinG. The gateway's almost perfectly timed up well with the finish of the warp gate research. SCV on the left-hand side. Sorry, bro.
It's too late.
You find nothing. And
Definitely.
BlinG's going to break this down. A sentry can force field the ramp. He has to force field the ramp. Has to force field the ramp. The bunker's empty. The turrets are being built. And this is a really smart play. And this can very well work.
The SCV's off to the third base. He's like, you're not getting this time. But
all right.
Oh, dear.
The Marines aren't going to be in the main base for much longer. The timing of an Oracle is it's between 6:37, depends on when it's built also. So I think at any moment now, the Oracle or the Marines could start to make their way back to the natural, which is where this isn't going to work.
You could have done your epic music movie voice there.
Happy already realized. He's like, where's his units?
It's like the timing of the Oracle is over.
He just needs to force field the ramp.
The timing of the gateway push is now.
On the ramp.
Nice, nice. We'll kill off this bunker very quickly. Not enough SCVs to bring that to heals.
Wow, look at this.
This is actually hurting quite a lot. Even a time warp there to slow those units down. He's trying to reach them with the Stalkers and the Sentries, but...
There's a lot of SCVs that die, Claris. We could be seeing the UK man go to the round of 16 for the first time. Happy's going to put his defense strong on the top of the ramp here.
And also 10 workers have died so far.
Jeez, that's a lot of workers dying.
16 have gone down. He's only on 16 himself against 34. And he's going to lose all of the gateway units,
Macaroni. There is no factory either, so it's not like he can get medivacs out. And he loses a lot, and BlinG's like, all right, cool. If you want to trade your SVs, that's fine, man. All right, whatever, peace.
We'll go home. Bye.
And goes home, builds the Twilight Council on Forge, and just takes away his pro bleed.
Oh, and now he sees them, and Happy has to be kicking himself.
He has to get down
hard.
to the natural now.
Yeah.
He's building an SCV. Go expand, bro.
Oh, jeez.
You need to expand because the more you spend on one base here, the worse this is for you.
Factory's on the way. He needs to go, and all of this is leading up to BlinG getting a really solid lead here.
And BlinG's like, no, please.
Get me back.
I don't want to restart this game. Oh, wait, the start of the swarm. I can resume from replay, thank God. But no.
I just want to win.
This is where we find out that, unfortunately, due to weather conditions in England, that his PC's just turned off and he can't get back on. It's a power cut. We have a lot of power cuts there.
Yeah,
his internet's off.
I was thinking more.
And he's gone.
I was thinking more back to dial-up modem. It's like every 2 hours it disconnects, or if you get a phone call, it's gone. I'm like, that's the bane of my life.
I'm gonna confess to something.
What?
There was a period when I was much younger.
Yes.
And I was playing on the internet for the first time.
Yes.
On multiplayer.
Yes.
And I definitely had a modem. And I definitely, at least once, we'll say for now, that when I was losing the game, I definitely pulled the modem out. And it disconnected, and my opponent's like, oh, cool, free win. See it. And then I plugged it back in, I'm like, I'm back. Free win. I was very young when that happened, though.
Oh, dear me.
Yeah.
Dude.
I definitely did that.
I will admit that I was quite fortunate in my house, and we had 2 phone lines. So I had a modem, like the normal one that if you like ring up and normally it's on a line, like disconnects. But we had 2 lines, so I never disconnected.
Oh yeah, that happened to me a lot as well.
Yeah.
Even recently, actually, because my dad's place in Wales, the internet's so bad that if the phone rang, because it's on the same line, it wouldn't disconnect, but it would stutter a lot.
Oh, wow.
When the phone was ringing. So if I play in a game and someone called, I'm like, God damn it.
Go away.
And it would stutter. Yeah, that's had that problem.
I remember having to time out my games, because I used to do a lot of ranked games on Red Alert 2 of whole games. And I had to time my games, because there was the 2-hour disconnect. So I was like, right, okay, when does it disconnect? It's like, okay, can I fit in another game? It's like, right, I've got to rush. I'm going to just go. Good times, good times.
All right, so I don't even know if, let me see if BlinG is even around, man. Is on Skype, which is a good sign. He is off Battle.net, which is the bad sign.
Ask him what happened.
I'm not going to message him on Skype right now.
Okay.
But hopefully he comes back to the game. But right now, in this game, which is the decider for moving on to the round 16, BlinG is leading.
Oh, yeah.
Quite convincingly. The only advantage that Happy has is stim done, quite a few units, but there's no way he can move across the map to be aggressive with those units he has because he's already stimmed once. Or if he didn't stim once, they're low anyway. Whatever the case, they're low. There's no way he can do damage versus a Mothership core and units.
Yeah, I mean, you pointed out rightly when it's like there's a big delay on his factory. There's going to be a big delay on his medevacs to really get aggressive anyway.
Yes.
So that buys BlinG a lot of time here with that Forge and Twilight Council up and running. Did he start anything from the Twilight Council?
No, not yet.
No, okay.
But I would imagine it'd be Zealot Charge again.
Yep. All right. So we're just waiting now for BlinG to
Still
get back
not online on Battle.net.
Uh-oh.
I'll check. Maybe Skype was delayed. That maybe he didn't. Maybe he's logged on somewhere else. He's still on Skype, but not on Battle.net. So don't know what's going on with him right now.
It was a tactical disconnect. I'm not sure why, considering you're just getting the advantage, but
it's like rubbing it in. I'll come back and win my game in 10 minutes.
He's already opened the party box. Where was I going with this?
Maybe he was that happy with how that attack went, with killing so many SCVs, that he maybe pushed back off his chair and kicked the power cable at the PC. What else could have happened?
Wild deer.
Power cuts. Got too crazy, kicked out the power cable. Wild deer.
Broke into his house.
He lives in Cornwall. I don't think there's too many wild deers in Cornwall.
Isn't there a big cat on the moors down there?
I do not know.
There's a big cat on the moors down there.
Cornwall is very close to the coast.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely favoring weather conditions right now.
Okay.
What else could it be?
I still think there's a big cat on the moors. There is, I swear.
Actually, I think he lives in Essex, actually.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know my English geography.
Essex is above England, above London to the north a little bit. It's like a little bit that way.
Well, what's the one down in this very, very south?
Sussex?
Is that Sussex?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They sound the same. Sussex, Essex.
He's back online on Battle.net. So he's back. Don't worry, he's back. What else could have happened? I'll ask him. No, I'm not going to ask him. Don't want to mess with the mindset of a player. Ask him later. We'll find out.
Tornado.
If he wins this game, which we will have a winner's interview, then we'll ask him. That's the right time to ask him. But he's back in game now, back in lobby. I was trying to think along the lines of something with his mother.
Picnic? No.
Got it. She didn't realize the games were on, and a fuse went somewhere in the house, and so she went to restart the power of the entire house, because you go to the fuse box, you turn them all off and back on again, and
if a fuse goes, doesn't it normally just turn everything off instantly?
No, because parts of the house are on different circuits usually.
Oh, I lived in an old house, I think.
Yeah,
so
I think in newer houses, there's like segments. There's like, on the fuse box, there's like 4 to 6. It's depending on how big your house is.
It's a parallel circuit.
Yeah, different parts.
I remember doing physics.
Yes.
Parallel,
anyway,
not the other one.
We're recovering the game. Thank you for bearing with us.
Thanks for listening to our rambling here at the World Championship Series Europe, as we now get back into game number 3 between Happy and BlinG, as BlinG has currently gone up quite drastically in our final game.
What happens if he loses from this position?
That's the reply.
It's possible.
All right, let's jump back into game number 3. 3, 2, 1, countdown begins. As we now have BlinG currently sitting up, and if he does go down from this position, he will be disowned forever.
Yeah, look at BlinG right now. I'm not sorry. Happy.
Let's look at Happy.
17 SCVs, 7 Marines, 4 Marauders. That's it.
Against 41 probes.
41 probes, 4 gateways. BlinG actually, not Zealot Charge, by the way. He chose BlinG this time.
Ooh.
And +1 attack, which would lead to believe that he's just trying to look to be even more aggressive from this point. Maybe finish the job off. It's like a hitman job. He's like hurting him, but he's like, finish him off, man. But yeah, this is a pretty bad situation for the Terran. Absolutely, really, really bad. He doesn't really have enough to build Marauders, because he's got to get the reactor and starport down. So he can't really build Marauders at this point, because he's spending his gas there. Doesn't have enough SCVs to actually mine gas from his natural, properly at least. Overall, just not that good of a position for him. BlinG's sending out a Hallucinated Phoenix to scout out what's going on. I think maybe confirm how far ahead he actually is, or how equal he is, or far behind.
Do you think we might see him claim a 3rd from here?
Because yeah, definitely possible, but it's very risky and very silly, I think.
Well, I think maybe he goes for Blinker on this map to try and kind of compensate across these locations, but...
I would imagine that he just build a big army off the gateways he has, use BlinG to catch the medivacs, and then just go from there.
Yeah, he could, like, just kill him, right?
Yeah, he doesn't need to rush a 3rd out like this. He's got a probe over to the left, but if he builds a 3rd, then he's obviously risking this a lot. Because there's no reason to increase your economy further than it already is. He's got full 2-base saturation against 28 SCVs. No need to take a 3rd. Just build up an army. Eventually, Happy's going to move out to try to get back in the game, right?
Yeah.
So then you just need to be ready for that. Use your BlinG effectively. Pick off the medivacs, and you're going to find yourself in a good spot.
Right.
But taking a 3rd would be wild.
21 Marines out right now, and he does see that probe heading off down to that left-hand side. So
there's no bunker, there's nothing right now there, but there is Stim. To be honest, the army that Happy has is pretty good against BlinGs right now, I think.
Yeah.
Unless we see more added onto this.
Like
the army supply difference isn't even that different.
Well, he's going to start chipping away. That's quite a lot of Stalkers that do technically still have BlinG. Got to remember, he has to be careful with that medivac. He actually could have sniped that out there for a second, but just trying to keep an eye on where it is. And he's going to move up to the high ground.
There's quite a few force fields, so obviously he can cut the army up quite nicely. But he's got to play this out carefully. There's still a lot of Marines and Marauders there. And with +1 attack as well, remember. There's no +1 armor this time. It's +1 attack himself.
Poor Marine dies off for the greater good, trying to get the information. Guardian Shield will go up a lot of the Zealots are caught at the back here. He needs to let those through so they can do the tanking that they need to do. But he actually seals a lot of that bio at the back. If he can cut it off and then do a little bit of damage to it time after time, he should be all right. But he lost quite a few there. Oh, nice force fields. Once again, trapped a little bit of these Marines in there. But again, the Zealots are just at the back, really not doing a whole lot. They were slowly filtering through.
So-so trades. So-so trades.
But at the same time, Happy, he keeps on top of his Marine production, which is so crucial.
Yeah, he's up to 5 barracks. He's actually adding a 6th.
Wow.
He's going quite gung-ho right now. Whereas BlinG is pulled back. He's gone Zealot Charge armor. But still no splash damage, which is a little bit worrying for his case. He's got to rely on his units being overpowering.
And one Widowmine gets himself a Stalker, but that's about it. He should be able to bring an Observer over there that he does have now on the way. But this army from Happy is moving out and spreading yourself across these 3 bases with all your Stalkers in one big clump over here.
Yeah.
Might be quite
well, luckily
irritating.
there's this pylon, which is going to help BlinG to just spot where the army is. Otherwise, it could have been quite difficult for him to play. Remember, these gateways in the bottom right can be attacked from the low ground too, which would lower his production.
He's got so many units across these bases. These gateways being so vulnerable, sad times, they die, but they did pay for themselves earlier on, so I guess replacing those isn't the biggest of deals, but it's still annoying. And he will bring all his Stalkers forwards and get a few of them killed off.
That's 3 or 4 Stalkers down there, 2 gateways turned off. And Happy on 6 barracks like this isn't going to let go. He's just going to hammer this one home and try to find a victory from a losing position. And it's absolutely possible. He's found a very cool position here.
Yeah, BlinG's still keeping on top of it, though. He's going to make sure that doesn't really happen too much. And sacrificing a few Zealots there. Not the most amazing of positions. But at this point, Happy doesn't know about the 3rd base.
Ooh, starts a Colossus now. If a Colossus enters this game, with the amount of buffering that he has in the Zealot, Sentries, and Stalkers, the Colossus are just going to deal so much damage out. It's going to be unbelievable. So the opportunity for Happy to win this is before the Colossus enters the field.
But even then, against 15 Zealots, 12 Stalkers. That's quite a lot of power he has behind this army. He actually blinks forwards aggressively to try and bring down those medevacs. The Stalkers will fall very quickly, but all of this army is trapped. He has to pick it up and try and get out of there. But the focus fire is still there for BlinG, who tries to bring down all the medevacs, and he does get them.
It's a lot of units lost there. The army supply is in favor of Happy right now. The Mothership Core needs Photon Overcharge.
Colossus needs to pop right now.
And the Colossus has to come into this game. That was bit of a close one there. The Colossus has entered. Now we have a second one and Thermal Lance on the way. The Colossus is the unit that will not be touched, really, but we have a 3rd command center away for Happy, so it's not all or nothing, but it's very important to use this Colossus well.
And he catches a few Marines there on the other side of those force fields, but now Happy realizes the trouble is in. He has to pull back. He has to maybe find a different angle against this.
He might start dropping from this point to try to find his win that way. It's going to be almost too hard to attack against this Colossus. But this is going to allow BlinG to further his economy, take the gases on his 3rd, and get more and more upgrades. Attacking is a little bit risky, I think, especially when you know you're on 3 bases, the Terran's on 2. A Zealot in the bottom right is going to spot this, and he also has the Probe and Pylon on the forward 3rd base. So BlinG knows it's 3 base versus 2. No need ever for a Protoss player to attack. Defend, 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 maintain your lead, build the death ball that is so scary, and that's where the win will be. Oh, great BlinG in the main base.
Tries to catch that. Oh, and gets it barely with that Photon Overcharge. Great play there by BlinG to pick one of those medevacs off, and that was a good chunk of his army down the drain.
And Happy is really salvaging this game very well, considering what happened earlier. He's got 3 command centers now. He's got double engineering bay, can go into double upgrades. And we do see Storm starting and Templars being added on too, so this game will go on. This game will go on, but it's definitely in favor of the men from England, or United Kingdom, or Great Britain.
Whatever you want to
call
call it.
Isles.
The Isles.
The island.
That one off Europe.
That country that almost disassociates itself with Europe.
On every front that they possibly can.
We still use Great British pounds.
Pound sterling.
Yep.
It's a pretty weird currency, actually. But, yeah, anyway.
All right, so 3rd base established for Happy. He's got 2-2 on the way, and he is building up his army. But BlinG is almost maxed out, which is kind of scary for Happy. With 3 Colossus and 4 High Templar for Storms, it's a pretty good fight to take. I mean, you can't go really wrong with this kind of army. 2-2 upgrades against 1-1 as well. Like, everything is in favor of BlinG.
He's going to go, man. I mean...
Yeah, you have to. At this point, this is the right time to attack.
Yeah, it's 114 army supply against 87, and it's going to have to be bunkers galore for Happy somehow, some way. He needs to hold on. The only disadvantage is it's very Zealot heavy, so they will get choked up in these areas, but still, they're not going to die.
Yeah, this Storms, +2 attack.
Look at all that firepower.
Low Vikings, 2 medivacs to heal everything. Yeah.
1 Zealot survived for so long during the onslaught, and now they all charge on forwards. A great storm onto those Vikings. A second really good storm as well to kill off the rest of these Vikings.
Looks like for the first time ever, BlinG's going to the the round of 16.
And not only that, but in first place here in Group E. Wow, what a turn for the Bucks. What an upset, considering that you've got people like Stardust in here and Happy. Yeah. He beat them both.
I'm pretty sure that everybody, when it comes to looking at this group realistically, said Stardust first place, Happy second.
Yeah.
And it's BlinG coming through first place. So once again, the Europe Premier League here in Europe, not just in Europe, but in America, proves to have its upsets here. And on a good day, anybody can beat anybody so far.
Seemingly so. So congratulations to BlinG for advancing on in first place. And now we can go to a short break. But when we are back, we are going to hear from the man himself advancing on to the round of 16, Mr. Dignitas BlinG.